right, here we are. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know where you're from in the comments below. All right, we're going to jump right into our training session today. So how much are wealthy plumbing business owners putting away in savings each month? And how can you adopt those same principles in your business? So we're going to talk about your savings account today, both personal and business. If you'd like a solid plan to safely grow your savings account, then this training is for you. Who am I? I'm Caitlin Ferguson, and I'm the owner of Citizen Virtual Business Services. We're a virtual bookkeeping company, and our main goal is to help seven-figure plumbing contractors to increase their profits without spending any more time on their bookkeeping. So before I get started, I want you to know that what I'm sharing here today is also going to address paying down debts, which we actually did talk a lot about last week. This is really not a one or the other type of situation here. So we're going to just dive in. So step number one, you need to calculate your expenses. Determine what your post-tax income is, set your payoff and savings goals, so your debt payoff, plus your savings goals, and keep track of your expenses. You really can't move on until these things are completed. All right, you've done it. You did that part. Yay! Let's move on to step number two. We're going to call this one the 50-20-30 rule. So the 50-20-30 rule is a money management technique that actually divides your paychecks into three different categories. 50% is allocated for essentials and needs, 30% is set aside for wants, and 20% is split between savings and debt repayment. So 50 plus 30 plus 20 equals 100%. So essentials would be things like rent, your mortgage, utilities, any housing or business costs, groceries, gas, childcare, things like that, things that are essential to your everyday life. Savings and debt repayments include all savings accounts, retirement contributions, loan and credit card repayments, things like that. And wants are non-essentials. They're expenses like clothing, restaurants, streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and Peacock and things like that. Gym memberships, those are all considered non-essential wants, right? So I'll tell you what, this is not easy to live by. And when it comes to expenses, one size really doesn't fit all. For example, your location can greatly contribute to needing a higher essentials percentage. For instance, business owners with homes or businesses in, say, New York City have a much different rent expense than those living in a small town in Arkansas. So if you run your own business, your income may be irregular for such a hard and fast rule, and you want to keep that in mind, especially when you have high interest loan debts. So there's a few things that we just definitely want to keep in mind. It's not a one size fit all. Now, last week we did discuss prioritizing debt payments. So you want to keep that strategy in mind when you're allocating your savings percentages. You want to devote this portion of your income to paying down existing debts and creating a financial cushion. So we want a little bit of balance here. You could grow an emergency fund, save for retirement, pay off your debt starting with the high interest accounts. Now, distinguishing between needs and wants, that is not an easy task, and it actually can vary from one person to another. Generally, wants are the extras that are not essential to living and working. They're often the things that you do for fun. So if this seems too strict for you, look into the envelope system and the 80-20 rule, and I'll let you do that research on your own. All right, that was step number two. We're going to talk about now step number three, your business savings account. So how much you set aside in your plumbing business savings account really is going to depend on your business, but you should aim to save at least 10% of the profits that you make every month and have up to 6 months worth of operating expenses in an emergency fund. This is very important if your business is seasonal and receives most of its profits over just a few short months in the year. So industries like landscaping or construction sometimes fall into these categories. So that's going to really depend on maybe your individual business and where you live. You're also going to want to have emergency funds in your savings account to cover passive sales months when revenue fluctuates or is low. So asking yourselves 2 questions to determine how much to save. 1, how much cash do you have if an immediate need comes up in the month? So look at the cash flow of your previous months. So that's funds coming into versus your expenses. This could help you see the significant expenses in your essentials category. Then consider any near future costs like a conference ticket or advertising fees. The spending forecast is going to help you see exactly how much you can afford to stash into your savings without hindering your business's operations. And number 2, what stage of growth is your business currently in? Are you running a startup, or are you a little bit more established business that has seen some consistent profits? If you're in the growing phase, you will have to consider the funds you need to fuel your growth. So in that case, it may not be practical to reserve all the incoming cash. It would be more sensible to invest in the profits into the growth of the business. On the other hand, as an established business owner, you will have less uncertainty to face and can put away more money into your savings. All right, what is our big takeaway today? Hopefully that you can see that the 50-30-20 rule can benefit your plumbing business, even if you have high interest debt to pay down. You can save for the future, live for today, and pay down debts when you have a strong understanding of your cash flow and you have a plan in place. If your business finances have grown increasingly complicated and you're not really sure if you or your team are really managing things correctly, it might be time to think about working with a bookkeeper. So if you need support on this, please feel free to reach out to us. Comment below with next steps, and either myself or a member of my team will reach out to you to see how we can support you. And as always, if you know a business owner who could really benefit from hearing this information, please share this video with them or comment with their name below and we'll reach out to see if they need help. Until next time, appreciate your time and hope this information was helpful to you. See you next time.